Hello subscribers. Today we're going to discuss how Central Loot Economy works. The first iteration was released last Wednesday with 0.55, and while it will take some time to iron out the balance, it mostly looks promising. With survival gameplay being the core of DayZ, it was a much welcome and needed overhaul, and the best part? We don't have to cram our worldly possessions from our tents into our backpacks every Wednesday, ever again. Central Loot Economy is a system which controls the amount of items in-game on any particular server at any given time. It is coordinated by a central database and can be deployed globally on all servers, public and private. The old spawn system was hard to configure and even harder to control. It was based on loot spawning every time the server restarted, which came with its own inherent flaws and exploits. We won't go into that in this video, but now with CLE it allows the development team to adjust item settings in real time as required, which should in turn make adjusting any loot spawning issues easily and quickly fixable. Now to the nuts and bolts. Each item class and building has a tag. Their tag includes crafted, not crafted, and carry a nominal, minimal, and maximum amount values. Nominal value is the amount of items the server is aiming to deliver at initial startup. After that, the system is controlled by cleanup and real-time respawn. These two systems work every 5 seconds to ensure that there is minimal server lag. Currently, when an item class goes to minimal value, around 50%, it will start restocking based on priorities. There is also a heat map that will help coordinate the distribution to the proper areas. Now, there are over 1.7 million loot spawns, and each server oscillates between 19,000 and 25,000 items. So it must be remembered that typically only around 1 to 1.5% of spawn locations actually have loot. In other words, 1 in about 70. So you may be wondering, where has all the precious loot gone? And at the moment there is no simple answer, but generally speaking, where other people haven't been yet. Cleanup is controlled by an item persistence binary that carries a lifetime value. This basically means that there is an amount of time every item can stay on the ground without interaction before being cleaned up or despawned. Tents, backpacks, and cases have a higher lifetime value, currently at 9 days. This may increase or decrease as development progresses, while other items diminish in a matter of hours without player interaction. Player interaction is simply defined as just manipulating anything in the inventory of said item. It must be emphasized that items in tents, backpacks, containers, and player inventories are not part of the calculation, and that the server restart has no effect on respawning of loot. Helicrash respawns are not tied to server restarts either anymore, but are controlled on a separate timer that can only be adjusted by the devs at this stage. Eugene Harton has stated they will leave the timing hidden for now, but hinted it's a long timer for these rare crashes. From our research, it's at least over 3 days and counting. Vehicles only get deleted and respawn once they are damaged beyond repair. The configuration of the system is a work in progress, as are the features, so it goes without saying that there will be bugs and balancing will still be required. Don't go too hard on the devs just yet. All in all, I think it has been an excellent update. Known bugs range from items disappearing in vicinity of players, as well as some misconfiguration causing items to disappear instantly. Rare items, except guns, have not been configured yet, so their spawn points are illogical, and also some items are losing their inventory picture. There are more, but this is really beyond the scope of this video, so I won't go into any more detail. As for the future, fine-tuning the system over the next couple of months, addition of some new features such as logical distribution and timing, item class logic that evenly distributes the items over south, north, west, and east, but mainly item numbers over the next couple of weeks, and a lot more configuration changes when 0.56 hits. One last point I'd like to mention was a comment made by Eugene recently stating, DayZ, will never again become an electro deathmatch, prison island deathmatch, and gangs of guys in military gear looking for a fight. Well, no one wants a repeat of the Northeast airfield situation that plagued the beginning of development on SA, where it was loot, kill, die, spawn, rinse and repeat, or even the deathmatch that was electro throughout the mod and into SA. We still want PvP to be a significant part of the DayZ experience. The undoubtedly poor planning on behalf of the dev team is what ensured deathmatch situations. And then, instead of adjusting spawn locations or decreasing the amount of military loot spawns that were so close to spawn points, they refused to make changes and did nothing for way too long. Now, after months and months of the new players coming along and complaining about kill on sight and banditry, the dev's answer is to make weapons, attachments, and bullets extremely rare. The hunting of other players, PvP, being pinned down and not knowing where the shots are coming from, being outmanned, outgunned, creates the fear and excitement that no other game has even remotely come close to achieving. These are the elements that make DayZ, the unique experience like no other, literally shaking with excitement before a kill, or as you sprint away from certain death. Us old-timers that have played the game since its beginnings have experienced every aspect that DayZ can offer, and we know just how important balance is to the success of DayZ's longevity. Most veterans that I know want a hardcore experience. That's why they play 1PP, never use exploits or glitches, but reducing weaponry and bullets doesn't make the experience harder. It makes it easier. It means the chances of running into armed and dangerous players and situations is greatly reduced. It numbs the game entirely. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating deathmatch areas. I want the battle to be all over the map, and I want it to be hard. But what I don't want is to be forced into becoming Farmer Bob. The appeal of farming and gardening, while enjoyable, will only last so long, and I think it is sad if the devs sell out to cater for new players, something that was stated time and time again as never happening. It's the thing that other games have done, and it has been a massive fail. I'm not for 1 second suggesting they have gone too far with this patch. I'm worried that the balance will continue way past equal and become mostly a PvE game, with tiny hints of PvP, and that we'll have to wait for the mod tools to be released to have any sort of an enjoyable game. Anyway, will DayZ continue to offer the same excitement? What are your thoughts about the balance of PvE versus PvP? Are you happy if it continues to be a PvE experience? Let me know what you think in the comments, and in the meantime, enjoy yourselves and try to stay safe. This is Nex, signing out. Good night.